The top 5 state quarter dollars. They're rare, mysterious, and highly sought after by collectors around the world. From shocking mint errors to ultra-low mintage runs, we're about to reveal could change your coin hunting game forever. Stick around till the end, you might just own a hidden treasure. Part 1. Coin Background. The North Dakota State Quarter was released on August 28, 2006, as part of the U.S. Mint's legendary 50 State Quarters program, a series that transformed ordinary coins into collector sensations. The design. It's beautiful and symbolic. On the reverse, you'll find 2 American bison standing proudly in front of rugged grasslands and buttes, representing the vast prairies and natural majesty of North Dakota. The words, North Dakota, and 1889, the year it became a state, complete the design, which was sculpted by Donna Weaver and engraved by Charles L. Vickers. On the obverse is the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. But here's the twist, not all of these quarters were created equal. Part 2. Mintage and Basics. The Philadelphia Mint produced a total of 305,800,000 North Dakota quarters. That's a huge number, but don't let it fool you. Why? Because only a microscopic fraction of those coins contain major errors, die varieties, and mistrikes that transform them from pocket change into treasures worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now, let's get into the mind-blowing errors and varieties that make this coin one of the rarest finds of the State Quarter series. Part 3. Top Rare Errors and Big Values, 3:30 to 7 o'clock. Fire 1. Double Die Reverse, DDR, value, $500 to $15,000 plus. One of the rarest errors reported on the 2006 P North Dakota quarter is the double die reverse. This happens when the die strikes the coin twice in slightly different positions, creating a doubling effect, especially noticeable in the bison's legs, tails, horns, or the lettering, United States of America, quarter dollar. Collectors love dramatic doubling. Coins with strong visible doubling, certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, have sold for $5,000 to over $15,000, especially in MS67 or MS68 condition. Warning: don't confuse this with mechanical doubling. True DDRs show strong, rounded, raised duplications. Part 1. Coin Background. The North Dakota State Quarter was released on August 28, 2006, as part of the U.S. Mint's legendary 50 State Quarters program, a series that transformed ordinary coins into collector sensations. The design. It's beautiful and symbolic. On the reverse, you'll find 2 American bison standing proudly in front of rugged grasslands and buttes, representing the vast prairies and natural majesty of North Dakota. The words, North Dakota, and 1889, the year it became a state, complete the design, which was sculpted by Donna Weaver and engraved by Charles L. Vickers. On the obverse is the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. But here's the twist, not all of these quarters were created equal. Part 2. Mintage and Basics. The Philadelphia Mint produced a total of 305,800,000 North Dakota quarters. That's a huge number, but don't let it fool you. Why? Because only a microscopic fraction of those coins contain major errors, die varieties, and mistrikes that transform them from pocket change into treasures worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now, let's get into the mind-blowing errors and varieties that make this coin one of the rarest finds of the State Quarter series. Part 3. Top Rare Errors and Big Values, 3:30 to 7 o'clock. Fire 1. Double Die Reverse, DDR, value, $500 to $15,000 plus. One of the rarest errors reported on the 2006 P North Dakota quarter is the double die reverse. This happens when the die strikes the coin twice in slightly different positions, creating a doubling effect, especially noticeable in the bison's legs, tails, horns, or the lettering, United States of America, quarter dollar. Collectors love dramatic doubling. Coins with strong visible doubling, certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, have sold for $5,000 to over $15,000, especially in MS67 or MS68 condition. Warning: don't confuse this with mechanical doubling. True DDRs show strong, rounded, raised duplications. Part 1. Background, State Quarter Program and the 2001 P issue. Let's rewind to the early 2000s. The 50 State Quarters program was one of the most successful coin initiatives in U.S. history. Running from 1999 to 2008, it released 5 unique state-themed quarters each year, representing all 50 U.S. states. In 2001, 5 quarters were released. New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Vermont, Kentucky. Each of these quarters had a Philadelphia mint version, marked by the P mint mark, and a Denver version with a D. While billions were minted, and most are only worth face value today, a select few 2001 P quarters have rare errors that make them worth serious money, in some cases tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Part 2, Rare Error Types, What Makes the 2001 P Quarters Valuable? So, what makes the 2001 P Quarter special? It's the rare errors. These aren't just simple blemishes, they're full-blown minting mistakes that turned average coins into priceless collectibles. Let's look at the most valuable errors found on 2001 P quarters. 1. Double-struck errors. Some 2001 P quarters were struck twice, resulting in overlapping designs. This minting error is dramatic and easy to see without magnification. Value. Double-struck coins can fetch $2,000 to $10,000 plus depending on condition and visibility. 2. Off-center strikes. Off-center errors happen when the blank isn't properly aligned. Some are just slightly off, but a few 2001 P quarters were struck 40% to 90% off-center. Value. Off-center errors with the full date visible can sell for $1,000 to $8,000 or more. 3. Wrong planchet errors. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Some 2001 P quarters were accidentally struck on foreign planchets, such as for a 5-cent euro or dime stock. These coins are the holy grail. Value. These can sell from $10,000 to over $100,000, especially when authenticated by PCGS or NGC. Fire 4. Clipped planchets. This is when part of the coin is clipped or missing because the blank was cut improperly. Rare, but known in the 2001 P batch. Money bag value. Depending on severity, these sell from $500 to $5,000. Fire 5. Struck on experimental metal. Some researchers believe test coins may have been struck using experimental metal during early 2000s transitions. If one of these 2001 P experimental strikes surfaces. Money bag value. Potentially $50,000 to $250,000 plus, a true modern-day coin jackpot. Part 3, Actual Sales and Auction Prices. These aren't just theoretical values, some have sold for huge amounts. White heavy checkmark A 2001 P Vermont quarter with an off-metal planchet error sold for over $14,000 at auction. White heavy checkmark another 2001 P with a dramatic off-center strike and doubling fetched nearly $9,000. White heavy checkmark PCGS graded 2001 P errors in MS 67 and MS 68 condition have sold between $4,000 to $20,000 depending on the state and type of error. Imagine finding one of these coins in your pocket change. A 25-cent coin turning into a down payment on a house. Magnifying glass tilted left, Part 4, How to check your 2001 P quarter. Here's how to spot a potential jackpot. White heavy checkmark Step 1, check the date. It must be a 2001 quarter with a P mint mark, found under, In God We Trust, on the obverse. White heavy checkmark Step 2, inspect the edges. Look for off-center strikes, odd shapes, or visible doubling. White heavy checkmark Step 3, look for weight issues. Use a scale. A US quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. Anything significantly higher or lower might be struck on the wrong planchet. White heavy checkmark Step 4, check the state design. Most rare errors are found on Vermont, Kentucky, and Rhode Island quarters, but any of the 2001 designs could be a hidden gem. White heavy checkmark Step 5, get it graded. If your coin looks unusual, submit it to NGC or PCGS for authentication. A graded coin fetches 5-10x higher value. Books, Part 5, Why these coins are so popular. So why are 2001 P quarters in such high demand? Because they're white heavy checkmark modern, accessible, and relatable. White heavy checkmark part of a beloved historical series. White heavy checkmark known for some of the wildest and most valuable minting errors. White heavy checkmark often overlooked, which means huge upside if you find one. With millions still in circulation, collectors and hunters are racing to check their change for these rare 2001 P treasures. And best of all, you don't have to be rich to collect them, just lucky and informed. Section 1. The origin of the Ohio State Quarter. The Ohio State Quarter was the 17th coin released under the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, and it made its debut in 2002. Each quarter in this series represented one of the 50 states and highlighted its unique heritage and achievements. Ohio's design is nothing short of historic. It features the Wright brothers biplane, celebrating the state as the birthplace of aviation. An astronaut silhouette, representing Ohio's rich contribution to space exploration. Ever heard of Neil Armstrong and John Glenn? Yep, Ohioans. The state's outline and year of statehood, 1803. It's an artistic and patriotic tribute. Over 414 million Ohio quarters were struck at the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark, and while that number sounds huge, here's where things get really interesting. Collision, Section 2, the rare errors that make it worth thousands. Among the hundreds of millions of these coins, a tiny fraction were struck with major errors. And these are the ones that have collectors going absolutely wild. Let's break down the most valuable and rarest error types found on the 2002 D Ohio Quarter. Red Circle 1. Double die reverse, DDR, error. A double die reverse error means the die that struck the coin had a misalignment, resulting in doubled images, especially visible in the birthplace of aviation pioneers lettering or in the biplane's wings. Backhand index pointing right value. High-grade DDRs have sold for $1,500 to $5,000, depending on clarity and coin condition. Red Circle 2. Off-center strike error. When a coin is struck off-center, part of the design appears shifted or even missing. The value increases with the percentage of off-centering and visibility of the date. Backhand index pointing right value. Well-centered off-strikes with the full date can reach $2,000 to $4,000. Red Circle 3. Missing clad layer. Modern quarters have a copper-nickel clad composition. A missing clad layer error causes the coin to look bronze or copper-toned, especially on one side. Backhand index pointing right value. These rare oddities often sell between $3,000 and $6,000, depending on eye appeal and grade. Red Circle 4. Broad strike error. No reeded edge. A broad strike occurs when a coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to spread out. These coins often lack a reeded edge and look a bit flatter. Backhand index pointing right value. These may bring $500 to $1,200, depending on the clarity of design and grade. Red Circle 5. Mule error. Extremely rare. This is the holy grail, when two mismatched dies are paired, such as a quarter obverse and a dollar reverse. There are rumors and reports of experimental mules during the 2002 minting year. Backhand index pointing right value. One of these can bring in over $100,000 if verified and authenticated. That's right, 6 figures for one quarter. Section 3. What makes these errors so valuable? Let's be real, error coins are like misprinted money. The U.S. Mint has strict quality control, so when an error does slip through, it becomes instantly collectible. Here's why collectors go crazy for these. Rarity. Fewer than 1 in a million coins might have some of these errors. Visual appeal. Dramatic errors like off-center strikes or missing layers stand out. Certification. Coins graded by PCGS or NGC with verified errors multiply in value. Historical value. A state quarter with a clear minting mistake tells a story of how even perfection-driven systems can slip. Briefcase. Section 4. Real auction sales and shocking values. Let's take a look at real sales that happened recently. A 2002 D Ohio quarter with a strong DDR error, graded MS67 by PCGS, sold for $3,250 in a 2023 online auction. Another 2002 D missing clad layer quarter fetched $6,400 at Heritage Auctions. A rare broad strike in mint state sold for $950. A coin someone likely got as change for a coffee. The mule quarter rumors. While not confirmed in Ohio's case, mules from other states have crossed $100,000. Experts believe one could surface any day now. So, what's stopping your loose change from hiding one of these treasures? Magnifying glass tilted right, Section 5, How to spot and verify your 2002 D Ohio quarter. Grab a magnifying glass and a good light, and check. White heavy check mark is the biplane or lettering doubled. White heavy check mark. Does the coin look off color, reddish or copper? White heavy check mark is the image off center or missing parts of the design. White heavy check mark is the edge smooth, not reeded. White heavy check mark is the coin heavier or lighter than normal. White heavy check mark. Look for weird die cracks, clashes, or misalignment. If you find something unusual, here's what to do. 1. Don't clean the coin. 2. Submit it to a professional grading service, PCGS, NGC, NX. 3. Take clear, zoomed-in photos if you're asking experts online. Rocket. Part 1, Background, the 1999 Connecticut Quarter. Let's rewind to 1999, the year the U.S. Mint launched the epic 50-state quarters program. Each state got its own special quarter, and Connecticut's was the final design for the first year. Small Blue Diamond. Date released, October 12, 1999. Small Blue Diamond Mint Mark, D4 Denver Mint. Small Blue Diamond design. The reverse showcases the famous charter oak tree, a symbol of American independence and Connecticut's legacy of freedom. With over 1.3 billion Connecticut quarters minted across Philadelphia and Denver, you'd think they're all common, but the 1999 D versions contain some of the rarest and most valuable errors ever discovered. Part 2, What makes the 1999 D Connecticut quarter rare? Now let's dive into what makes this coin worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of dollars. 1. Minting errors. Minting errors can turn ordinary coins into high-value rarities. For the 1999 D Connecticut quarter, these are the most desirable errors. White heavy check mark. Double struck errors. Some coins were struck twice, creating a distorted and doubled image. White heavy check mark. Off-center strikes. Misaligned strikes caused parts of the tree or lettering to shift dramatically off-center. White heavy check mark. Clipped planchets. A portion of the coin is missing due to an incomplete blank. These are rare and visibly dramatic. White heavy check mark. Wrong planchet strikes. This is the big one. Some Connecticut quarters were struck on foreign coin blanks, like those for 10 centavos or 1 cent euro coins. These mint errors can increase a coin's value 10x, 100x, or even more. 2. High-grade rarity. Even without errors, top-condition coins are worth a fortune. The 1999 D Connecticut quarter was mass-produced, and most were circulated heavily, so finding a coin in MS 68 or higher is extremely rare. According to PCGS, MS 67 examples sell for $250 to $800. MS 68 examples, extremely scarce, can reach $5,000 to $10,000. MS 69 examples, nearly unheard of, and valued at $25,000 to $50,000 plus. 3. Transitional or experimental planchets. Some experts believe the Denver Mint accidentally struck a small batch of Connecticut quarters on leftover or test blanks. If such a coin were confirmed, it could easily hit $100,000 to $250,000 at auction. Part 3, Real auction prices. Let's talk real money. Here are a few documented 1999 D Connecticut quarter sales. White heavy checkmark double struck error, PCGS graded, sold for $3,500. White heavy checkmark MS 68 graded coin, NGC, sold for $8,400. White heavy checkmark off metal planchet strike, estimated value $25,000 to $75,000 plus. And a top-graded Connecticut quarter in MS 69 condition is rumored to have received private offers of over $150,000. Imagine a coin you picked up and changed now being worth more than a brand new sports car. Part 4, How to spot a valuable 1999 D Connecticut quarter. Think you have one of these treasures? Here's how to check. White heavy checkmark mint mark, make sure it's a 1999 D. The D is found just below, In God We Trust, on the obverse. White heavy checkmark reverse design, check for crisp detail in the tree branches. Blurry or doubled details might indicate an error. White heavy checkmark weight check, use a digital scale. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours is lighter or heavier, it might be on a wrong planchet. White heavy checkmark edge and alignment, look for unusual shapes, curved clips, or off-center strikes. White heavy checkmark luster and surface, if your coin has no scratches, full mint luster, and no contact marks, you might be holding a top-grade gem. Pro tip, if you think you have a valuable one, do not clean it. Send it straight to PCGS or NGC for grading. Part 5. Why collectors are paying big. Why is the 1999 D Connecticut quarter such a collector's prize? White heavy checkmark. It's from the first year of the legendary 50-state quarters program. White heavy checkmark. Connecticut's charter oak design is one of the most detailed and elegant white heavy checkmark. Mint errors from this quarter are dramatic and scarce. White heavy checkmark. Very few coins have survived in superb condition. MS 68 or better. White heavy checkmark. It's a coin everyone recognizes, yet only a few know its hidden value. That's the perfect recipe for a modern coin jackpot. Background. The 50-state quarters program, launched in 1999, was one of the most popular coin releases in U.S. history. Each state received its own unique design, and millions of Americans started collecting again. The Georgia quarter, released on July 19, 1999, was the fourth state quarter ever issued. Small blue diamond obverse, classic George Washington portrait. Small blue diamond reverse, a peach, Georgia's state symbol, oak branches, and the state outline with the motto, wisdom, justice, moderation. Over 488 million Georgia quarters were minted in Denver, with the D mint mark, but don't let that huge number fool you. Among them are a few extremely rare versions that could be worth life-changing money. What make? Let's break down exactly what makes the 1999 D Georgia quarter so rare and valuable. It all comes down to three factors. 1. Mint errors. Several known minting errors occurred during the production of 1999 D Georgia quarters, including white heavy checkmark double strikes. The coin was struck twice with a slight shift. White heavy checkmark off-center strikes. Coin struck far off alignment. White heavy checkmark clipped planchets. Part of the coin's edge is missing. White heavy checkmark wrong planchet errors. Quarters struck on dime or foreign coin blanks. Some of these coins have sold for $5,000 to $25,000, and the wrong planchet errors have fetched up to $75,000 plus depending on grade. 2. High-grade rarity, MS 68 plus condition. Although hundreds of millions were minted, most went straight into circulation. That means very few survived in mint state, and even fewer in MS 67 or higher. As of today, only a tiny handful of Georgia quarters have been graded MS 68 or better by PCGS or NGC. One Georgia quarter in MS 68 sold for over $10,000 at auction. MS 69 or perfect specimens could go for $25,000 to $150,000 simply because of their rarity. 3. Transitional planchet errors. Rumors in the numismatic world mention 1999 D Georgia quarters being struck on experimental or transitional planchets, possibly from foreign coinage or leftover blanks. If authenticated, such a coin could sell for well over $100,000, especially if it carries the Georgia design with the 1999 date and D mint mark. Part 3. Real auction prices. Let's look at some actual sales of rare 1999 D Georgia quarters to see how real this value is. Small orange diamond off-center error Georgia quarter, sold for $4,800. Small orange diamond MS 68 Georgia quarter, PCGS certified, sold for $10,800. Small orange diamond double struck Georgia quarter, sold for $7,500. Small orange diamond Georgia quarter on wrong planchet, unofficial offers have hit $50,000 plus. And those are just publicized sales. Some collectors and dealers have privately acquired rare error quarters for six figures, knowing that these coins will only grow in value over time. Part 4. How to check yours. Now the question is, could you have one of these valuable 1999 D Georgia quarters? Here's how to find out. White heavy checkmark. Step 1. Check the mint mark. Look for the D on the obverse, right beside George Washington's ponytail. White heavy checkmark. Step 2. Inspect the design. Flip the coin. Examine the peach, branches, and lettering. Look for doubling, missing details, or off-center design. White heavy checkmark. Step 3. Weigh it. Use a digital scale. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Anything lighter or heavier could mean a wrong planchet. White heavy checkmark. Step 4. Magnify. Use a jeweler's loupe, 10x magnification, to check for fine cracks, repunched mint marks, or double strikes. White heavy checkmark. Step 5. Grade and certify. If your coin looks pristine or has a visible error, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. Only graded coins bring top dollar. Brain, Part 5, Why Collectors Want It. Why does this particular quarter draw so much attention? Heavy check mark. It's the first year of the state quarter program, a historic moment in U.S. coinage. Heavy checkmark. Georgia's peach design is unique and instantly recognizable. Heavy checkmark era coins from this year are rare but confirmed, making them a goldmine for collectors. Heavy checkmark top-graded specimens are nearly impossible to find. The supply is ultra-limited, and that makes demand skyrocket. Coin collectors, investors, and even museums are hunting these coins down. As time goes on, the number of untouched Georgia quarters shrinks, and that drives prices even higher.